Wilcox, I've got you back for another podcast.
No, long time no see, sort of.
Well, yeah, you've had your dissertation, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been draining.
Does your life feel rejuvenated now that that's over?
Yeah, I think I told you, I think I feel the relief that someone suffering with constipation feels. I finally passed that terrible shit. It was my shit, but it was awful.
No, fair play, fair play. This is technically the third episode we'll be doing, but
technically,
which is published, it's going to only be the second one.
Yeah.
Because the second one which we recorded turned out to be
garbage.
assigned, yeah. It really was bad.
Oh, see, it's a learning process, you know.
It is.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Very true.
Unfortunately. Except Hugh Jackman.
He is a perfect human being.
Like, fuck me, if I was gay. Yeah. That man would be finding my way into those fantasies.
He's rather successful as well.
He is. And he was once a teacher.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he taught PE in Australia.
I remember a couple of girls who I went to university with sort of like always het up on him.
Het up?
You know, like girls get, Hugh Jackman. Oh, that's probably a bit sexist, really, isn't it?
No, I think most people can agree Hugh Jackman's a bit lovely.
No, but like their thing as well is they would just rip the shit out of his wife.
That's mean.
Because
what's she done wrong?
Well, like they always said that Hugh Jackman was so attractive, and yet his wife was really unattractive.
Yeah. Okay.
And like, I think she's what, something like 8-10 years older than him.
Okay.
Or something, but like they were saying, like, look at him, he's so beautiful, and then look at her, she's like a turd.
She looks normal in comparison. If you were just like a normal looking person, she's like a fucking eye on a forehead or something, and a nose down to her fucking tits.
I know. I think it was just them being kind of like, maybe if Hugh Jackman ever realises that we don't like her,
yeah,
maybe he will leave her and join us.
Maybe he will. Maybe he'll settle for some 20-year-olds who go to whatever university you went to, I forgot. Lancaster. Maybe he'll come to Lancaster for no absolute fucking reason. He goes, hey ladies, let me take off my shirt. It's freezing, I know, but still.
And it's raining again.
Because it's Lancaster.
It always rained in Lancaster.
I went to Scottish uni, how do you think I feel? It's like, oh, summer's lovely. 5 minutes of rain, 5 minutes of sun.
But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a fantastic man.
Yes.
And Logan was genuinely a fantastic film.
It was so good.
It was really, really good.
It made up for the fact the new one's probably going to be junk as well.
Yeah.
The 2018 one.
The what?
They're making a new one, yeah. You know the whole like Fassbender McAvoy bunch? Yeah, there's a new one coming out. It's based on the Dark Phoenix books.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna have some...
I mean, I like Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah, Michael Fassbender.
And I like James McAvoy.
Yeah,
but they are not good X-Men films.
The first one's good. First Class. I like First Class.
I wasn't a huge fan of First Class.
Okay.
Days of Future Past I didn't mind because it mixed the two.
Yeah.
And I liked the original bunch.
Yeah.
Purely for nostalgia reasons.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Hugh Jackman in it.
Yeah.
Basically, the lead was alright, but like the main plot was a bit shit.
Yeah.
And they wasted Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very true. Well, they used him mostly as a money spinner, really, didn't they?
So we have Peter Dinklage, like Game of Thrones guy. You like him? The best one in that show.
But yeah, I mean, just Marvel films in general usually are enjoyable films.
Yeah, I think even at the worst, like
but not particularly great.
Yeah.
The Avengers films aren't bad, and I love the sort of whole spiel they've done with the whole storyline and everything in this like 20-year process.
Oh, connecting them all together. Yeah. No, that's really, really well done. As I was going to say, even at the worst, like Thor 2. Thor 2 is not really that great. But
is that Dark of the World or something?
Dark World, Dark something or other,
yeah.
Even when they're not the best, you can still say, stick it on a Sunday afternoon on DVD and just like...
It's not a bad film.
It's not like you can watch it and it's like, I mean, they're wasting Christopher Eccleston, but I mean, it's vaguely enjoyable.
Yeah.
decent enough fun. Then none of them are like so shit. You think, who was responsible for this?
Yeah.
And what is wrong with them?
Yeah, true. But then it really just sort of show you the difference, because obviously there's currently 3 different studios making Marvel films and stuff, because you have the Marvel line, which is Iron Man, Avengers and all that lot.
Yeah.
But then obviously you've got Sony, who were constantly in charge of Spider-Man up until they came with the joint.
Yeah, but they still want to do a Venom film.
Yeah.
And you obviously got Fox doing the X-Men's and the Fantastic Fours.
Yeah, which are ass.
I've not seen...
In comparison.
I mean, I've not seen the new... I've seen Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
That was shit. That was... I think it was also...
I refused to watch it.
Did you? They're so fucking bad.
Yeah.
And I've not seen Fan 4 Stick, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's meant to be bad. And yeah.
However, they're always... I don't know why, but they are just more enjoyable films than just DC in general.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know. Like,
the only DC films I like are the 3 Dark Knights.
Yeah, but even then, they sort of vary. They're not atrociously bad as what I've heard. I've not seen Suicide Squad or Batman vs Superman, but I've heard through various sources that they're not very good.
I watched Suicide Squad and it was fantastically terrible.
Alright, okay. Like, ironically good.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to it. I mean, I am a bit of a Will Smith fanboy. I just genuinely like a lot of stuff he's in.
But he's a very likeable guy.
Yeah. I mean, I own every single episode of Fresh Prince, because I just used to watch it like mad when I was a kid.
It was that. It was Simpsons and then Fresh Prince.
Yeah, one after another on BBC Two, was it, or something? Or Channel
4.
Oh, was it when they went to Channel 4?
Yeah.
And I just used to absolutely love watching those sort of things. I mean, I haven't ever watched a lot of his films. I loved the Men in Blacks. I loved £7, Pursuit of Happiness, Hitch. Terrible film, but I quite liked it.
Fair enough.
I really like Hancock.
I liked Hancock, yeah.
But I like the first half of it, and I hate the second half of it.
So I don't hate it. I just think it's
because it's so
it just loses momentum.
Yeah.
And he changes so dramatically. It's a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't think it's one of those premises. Like, where can they go with it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to get better eventually, but it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I've never watched After Earth because I heard so many bad things about it. I was just like, I don't want it. I'll leave it at that.
See, I don't think I've ever seen a Night Shyamalan film personally.
Really?
Yeah. I know Sixth Sense is meant to be good. I think Unbreakable is meant to be decent as well. But never watched them. I don't know why. There's one that's just completely passed me by.
Yeah. I remember, what was it I watched? iRobot. I've watched that loads of times now. And the first time I watched it, I was like, it's mildly funny. But there was just something about it which made me feel uneasy.
Alright.
It was, I don't know, just didn't like the film. But then I've watched it more and more and now it's fine.
Right.
But it was I just remember the first few times I watched it, I don't know, I think I found it a bit creepy how they had animated the robot.
Alright, yeah.
I've forgotten his name. What was it?
Alan Tudyk.
No, but the name of the robot they give him, Sonny.
Sonny, yeah, right.
I found it a bit creepy, almost, which was really weird. But yeah, that was a decent enough game, I suppose.
Game?
Sorry, film. I just saw a game finished downloading on my computer, and I probably put the word game into my head. But yeah, I don't know. It's bizarre. But yeah, no. Suicide Squad. Yeah, I thought Will Smith was fantastic in it. Also, it's probably one of the DC characters I really like is Deadshot.
Okay.
I thought Jared Leto was horrendous.
I've heard as much.
I think part of that, if we never had Heath Ledger as Joker, I think it would have been fine. As in Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah, maybe.
I think people would have gone, yeah, it's alright. I can see that side of it, but it was such a treat having Heath Ledger's Joker, and he got it so perfect.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to imagine any other type of Joker.
Yeah, and I can see that. I think the same can be said because when obviously Mark Hamill did it for years.
Yeah.
And his Joker's for many is like the definitive
Yeah.
version, but then Heath Ledger's came and not blew it out of the water, but showed a completely different type of Joker.
Yeah,
So
I'd say they're equally successful.
Yeah, there's room for other Jokers. It's just I think what Warner Brothers did with it possibly fucked it more than I don't know. Like they're going for like a weird edgy look from looking at some of the images. There's like tattoos and broken teeth, and there's like some possible stories like he got battered by Batman, so he had his teeth replaced or whatever. But Jared Leto's too pretty, and they didn't hide that well enough like they did with Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
They made Heath Ledger look like he'd been fucking gnarled up, whereas Jared Leto just looked like Jared Leto in green.
I don't know, it was just a style I just did not like at all. And there was lots of things with that film which I felt just didn't work. It's kind of like, you know, with most action films, you have a bit of action at the beginning, then you have that bit of action in the middle, which then leads up to the final action scene.
Yeah.
In this, you have that bit at the beginning, but then that bit in the middle, they just drag it out, and that bit in the middle is the whole film.
Right.
And you're just kind of like, oh, I was sort of waiting for him to really kick it up a notch and stuff, and it just sort of then peters out. The only, apart from Deadshot, the only other character I sort of fairly enjoyed was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I think some people said that. I think it's Margot Robbie again. She's just quite a good actress.
Yeah.
Actress. That was a weird word to add an extra syllable.
Yeah. But I mean, there's just so much bullshit with it. It's like, other than that, it's kind of like, and also there's just random super hit, like there's a guy in it, right, whose superpower is able to scale the side of a building with a grappling hook. If you give me a fucking grappling hook, I can climb the side of a building. Right? Thankfully, he dies within about 3 minutes.
He can climb any surface. Poop! Oh, his head's gone. It's like the other fucking smartphone app to kill people. Like the dream of the president.
It was just wasn't good.
No.
And I don't think they're making another one anymore because that one flopped.
Did it?
Yeah.
I was surprised it got absolutely fucking canned by critics.
Yeah. And I find that quite regularly with DC films. I didn't like the new Superman film. I thought it went just way over the top. And I don't like Superman anyway. I think it's the worst superhero ever invented, ever.
Fair enough. So I really like the Christopher Reeve. The first Christopher Reeve film's pretty good. The second one's okay, and the rest are just forgettable.
I just don't like Superman as a premise, really, more than anything else.
Okay.
I just thought it was crap. I didn't watch Batman vs Superman because I was like, I just don't want to see Superman anymore.
Yeah.
I was a bit interested in Ben Affleck's Superman. Batman, sorry, but then I saw him in Suicide Squad very briefly. I was just like, I am not missing anything. And then also that introduced Wonder Woman.
It did.
You say that with like a bit of venom.
Shall we talk about Wonder Woman?
I think you would need to talk about Wonder Woman.
Right. Here's the thing about the Wonder Woman film. I'm going to spoil the shitload out of it. So if you want to do in this video, they do a timestamp or something for when this little rant ends.
Or just like yell spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
I'll just put spoiler on the screen.
Let's get that. I don't like the Wonder Woman film, and I'm frankly surprised at a lot of the praise it got. Let's get the good stuff out of the way first, because I'm going to be quite mean. Her theme's great. That's fucking great. Gal Gadot is a good Wonder Woman.
It's like you're hyperventilating. You're really getting ready to rip a new one, aren't you?
I am. It wowed me the fuck up, this film. When I came out of the cinema, I was like, that fuck no. Right, okay, let's start. Okay, so the premise of the film. For whatever reason, Zeus, the actual Zeus, god of thunder and Olympus, created this island, right? And it's invisible to the world, right? Just invisible. It's got like a cloak around it, but it's not protected. Anything can get through. Okay, so that's a problem to begin with. But it's established that the film takes place in World War One, right? And at the beginning, partway through the film, oh, by the way, another good bit, Chris Pines is quite good in it. I haven't seen him in anything else, but he's quite good in this. Chris Pines flies into the island in a World War One plane, right? So there's no protection about this island. Like I said, there's no protection. But it makes the point, right? This island is presumably thousands of years old, and these people, these Amazonians, can live for thousands of years, and there's no technological or cultural advancement in this entire fucking thing. They just live as like Greek fucking warriors for thousands of years, right? They're still using bows and fucking whips and swords. Machine guns were invented by World War One. Why have they not done this? It really fucking annoyed me. And it's like, they're fighting, there's a bit, when Chris Pines comes, all these Germans come, and there's this bit where a German person shoots at the Amazonians and kills one in one hit. Like, so your armor's shit as well. Fuck that magic crap that you're bestowed with. A bullet can kill you. So you're not that special. So that's annoying. Second thing, like this entire island, they make a point of it being isolated from the world. Like they cut themselves off quite deliberately, right? Then a bit later, it comes to this bit where Wonder Woman has to translate this diary that the British have gotten from the Germans, but it's written in different languages. No one can read it, and she goes, "Oh, I can read it. It's written in Japanese and Somalian or whatever." Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, you can read that." Yes, we teach ourselves to read and understand all languages. Why? You don't have contact with the world. What's the fucking point? Why do you not have your own language?
Why are you speaking English?
Why you speak... I get it for the purpose of the film. You speak English, right? But it makes no sense. Why you know fucking Japanese? Like, did Zeus go, "Oh, and by the way, in thousands of years' time, you may need this fucking cultural this new language"? Did he bestow that knowledge? Like, "Oh, by the way, we better get a rigorous school system on this island of warrior princesses"? Stupid. Right. Then, what transpired is Chris Pine, after they kill the Germans on the beach, Chris Pines get captured by the people, and they use the whip of truth on him, lasso of truth, and he has to spill the Great War, and the war to end all wars, and it's like this big moment. It's like, well, yeah, you're in 1910s, we know that. You're taking place in a real timeline. We're not fucking stupid. But they are, because they cut themselves off from the world, but they speak Japanese. And then this instills Diana to go, "Oh, I must kill Ares, the god of war." And that becomes her goal for the remainder of the thing. Right? So she goes with Chris Pine to England, right? And she sees, before she gets invited, she sees all these soldiers coming back from war, and it's like, this is horrible, you see the actual devastation of people. And it's quite an affecting moment, in a way, but it's done quickly. And then you meet Chris Pines' very British secretary. And she has this line where he says, "Oh, he tells me what to do and where to go." And Diana goes, "Well, where I come from, that's called slavery." Yeah, but is it? Right? Because, and I hate to be the one defending capitalism here, she gets a wage. It's not slavery. Not in its literal fucking definition. She gets paid for her services. Might be a shit 1910s wage based on sexism, but it's still a wage. It's not slave labour. Right? So, moving forward, again, they meet the Prime Minister, played by David Llewellyn, and you think, the guy who played Lupin, right? It's like, oh, that's a fine casting choice, that makes sense. And then, for some reason, at some point we're introduced to the baddie, who's this German guy, and he's making this chemical weapon that can go through gas masks. He's played by a British guy, which annoys me for several reasons. Right? Because World War One for me, I don't know what it is. Something about World War One, I'm very particular about. Because I think if anyone's going to do World War One, you have to treat it with some respect. Because there's no sides which were good or bad. It's just lots of young men being sent to their deaths. It was a real tragedy, right? But what they do is they have the group of heroes that get established be Gal Gadot, Chris Pines, the guy who played Spud, a random French guy, and a guy who's meant to be Native American. I don't know if he actually is, but he's meant to be Native American, right? And the baddie is played by a Brit. Now, I know British people are quite good at playing baddies, but get an actual German to play this guy. Because it's kind of offensive at this point. There's no... And all the British people they depict, right, apart from that one very British woman, are all like, "Hey, what's a woman doing here in the war of it? I say..." Like they're all a bunch of old-fashioned fucking fuddy-duddies who can't fathom the idea of a woman having an idea. Like, fuck off. We're not that stupid. It may have taken us a while, but yeah. Right. So you have all these, races mixing together, being the heroes, and right, there's a bit where the Scottish guy, they're fighting. God, I'm skipping over so much, but it's just coming to me. There's this bit where they go to this village, and Spud is a sniper, but he doesn't take the shot because he has post-traumatic stress disorder. And you're like, oh shit, that's how are they going to tackle this? I hope it's tastefully. No, it's not. Because what they do is, after Diana finishes wrecking German shit, absolutely effortlessly, and it's quite nicely shot actually, but there's no tension because she's like immortal, so yeah. Like, it's really hard seeing this literal god just wade through fucking poor Germans, just dead. Like, she's so powerful, right? At one point, she basically breaks the top off a building. She's so strong. Right? These poor fuckers have no hope. Oh god, I've skipped another bit. Jesus Christ, let's go rewind a bit. There's this bit where they're going through the trenches, and Chris Pines says to Diana, "Look, we can't save everyone. We have a mission. We have to take out that German guy who's making the gas. This is war. You have to make sacrifices." And you think, again, that's quite an important thing to say. You can't save everyone. She has to realise that whatever they try, they can't do. But they say this line, "As no man's land, no man's can get across it." And she more or less says, but not exactly, "I am no man." But she doesn't actually say that. She says, she goes across it. And she has a shield, and she's defending against all this bullets, hail. And then they take no man's land. These soldiers come over and take no man's land. It's like, no, that's not the point of no man's land. That's not how you do no man's land. It was a fucking pointless exercise. That's the point of no man's land. And it's like, but they effortlessly take it, basically, and liberate this town. And then, after they liberate this town, and Spud's, like, drinking, because he's Spud, that's what he does. He goes, he says, "Oh, I don't know if I can come with you." And Diana goes, "Oh, how if you don't come with us, who will sing for us?" And it's like, "Oh, I guess you're cured, are you?" That's how they resolve his PTSD. That he can now shoot a gun because a pretty girl said, "Who will sing for us?" Great. Really tactful. And then there's a bit, again, where they're around this campfire, and Chris Pines has fallen asleep, and Diana's talking to the Native American guy, and she has a conversation with about nature of war, and basically he says something along the lines of that Chris Pines' people waged war against his. And it's this instance of the film complicating Diana's notion of good and evil, that you can't. There's not such a black and white issue. And that's where I hoped the film was going to go. But it doesn't. Because what it does, right at the fucking end, it does this bit where she thinks the German guy is Ares, the god of war, and she kills him, the war will be over. Right? She kills this German guy, who is just a guy, by the way. He's not special, he's not the god of war. She just fucking sticks a sword through his heart and kills him. And it's like, yeah. And then she looks over and it's like, the military complex keeps going on. And people are still building weapons and fighting each other. And then David Llewellyn comes on and says, I'm Ares, basically. Surprise. Right? And it's like, well, you're a really shit Ares because you're not intimidating at all. If you think Ares, you think a big hulking guy, not the guy who played Lupin. And it's just, his voice is too soft to be Ares.
Yeah.
It just really didn't, it was a really poor casting choice, I thought. Good for like a Weasley Prime Minister, not so much for... Anyway. So then they have this big fight where she kills Ares in the end of it. And the film does this thing which fucked me off so much. They stop fighting. The people stop fighting and they sort of help each other and they, help one another up. And it's like, yeah, that saved World War One. And it's like, you fucking what? How dare you? War is way more fucking complicated, especially World War One, right? And it's just, oh, this one guy died, so everything's fine now. And no, it's not. So she's vindicating her stupid fucking belief that if you kill the god of war, men will be good all of a sudden and there will be no more war, rather than what the film was actually leading up to, which was, it's way more goddamn complicated than that. You've just been sheltered in your little perfect Greek bubble. And it undermines itself because they announced the sequel is going to take place in Vietnam, which is presumably going to fucking Rambo over some Vietnamese communist. Like, yeah, oh yes, I killed the god of war, but we must crush communism. Power to capitalism. Right?
Not slavery.
Not slavery, yeah. It's not slavery because you get a wage. It's wage slavery. It's just such a fucking galling film that they come out with that. It's the implicit... I assume they wanted to show female empowerment. And I don't know if I saw that. Because, like, she's not... I mean, she's so overpowered and so unchallenged in the whole film by everything. Like I said, at the end, she's vindicating their beliefs that war is caused by one guy meddling with people, not complicated issues. And it's just frustrating as shit that it got all these glowing reviews when... I don't know if I'm... Like, this is coming from someone who's only seen it once a few months, like when it released. So it's a few months old now. And I've been gestating these opinions like a fucking tumour boiling up in my stomach. I'm going to pass a Gal Gadot shaped kidney stone or something. But yeah, it just... I don't know. I do know it annoyed me a lot, and if someone can explain to me if I'm wrong, or they can try and disabuse me of these ideas, I'd happily listen. But I can't not think this, because that's the ideology it presented was this really fucked up one that undermined the genuine sacrifice of people who died for no other reason than pointless fucking family politics. You know, and connections that these men have nothing to do with. You know, it's like I said, one of the greatest tragedies of the 20th century. You can't reduce it to the god of war did it. That's offensive. So yeah,
I get that. I haven't watched it, so I can't combat any of your points.
Mate, if you pick it up on Netflix, if you get it on Netflix or something that comes out, it may come out on Netflix, but give it a watch. And if you ever, just stream it or something, I don't give a shit. I'm not Warner Brothers. Fuck that.
But no, yeah, I'll.
So that's my very animated, angry opinions on Wonder Woman. I wish I liked. I didn't go into it thinking I'll hate this. I really wanted to like it.
Yeah.
you don't. No one goes into a film thinking, "Yeah, I hope this will be shit." But I don't know. I've never come out of a film as angry as that. I mean, I went to see fucking Meet the Spartans, for God's sake. I paid good money for that privilege.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I was a teenager. Teenagers are fucking stupid. Yeah.
Fair play.
So yes, that's
Fair enough.
That's what I think.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm calm now. It's like working through bile. I let it all out.
I'll try and move the conversation on for you to distract you.
Do, please, because I feel my blood pressure just rising.
This is the reason. New Assassin's Creed game coming out.
There is. It looks dope.
We've both played a lot of Assassin's Creed, haven't we?
Yeah. I think
I've played every single one apart from the shitty one which took place in China, which isn't really part of the main storyline.
Oh yeah, those. One. Oh, have you not played? Wait, you played the Russian one as well? And
oh no, that little trilogy.
Yeah, the whole the Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of them, but I've played all of the others.
Yeah, the main series. Yeah.
Yeah. I've completed them all apart from one.
Syndicate, which you just hated.
I just did not like that game.
Yeah.
It really got to the point for me where, at first, I fucking loved the Assassin's Creed games. I was massive fanboy and so hyped about the first one.
I remember the first one, I think us two went to town when you bought it.
Yeah.
And went back to yours and then looking at it, it's like, holy fuck, this is next gen.
Yeah.
Like you could see a leap, so you can climb everything.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
And I was a huge fanboy. I loved the series. Every single time one came out, I'd get it like the day it came out, or I'd get it as a present for Christmas and stuff like that. And I played through them all. I even played through Unity. That broken piece of shit. But I was getting to this point where you could very easily see the quality of each game going downhill. Because they were just rushing them out so then they could get them out for November and December every single year.
Yeah.
And it was just turning into a money spinner for them, and the storyline was going downhill, the quality was going downhill. There was more glitches, there was more game breaks, and the history was less and less accurate, and it was just being made wank. And I was like, guys, please just stop making them.
Black Flag was still good.
Black Flag was wicked.
Yeah.
That was like a glimpse in the shit.
Yeah.
That was like finding a golden nugget in the brown nugget.
Assassin's Creed 1's like
I loved
decent,
one.
but there's problems. Assassin's Creed 2 is.
I just loved one.
Fair
I thought for the time it came out and stuff like that, I thought it was so groundbreaking. And at the time, obviously with hindsight, if you look back, you're going to see loads of things wrong with it.
Yeah.
Number two, I loved the game. I didn't like Ezio because I was an Altair fanboy.
Fair enough.
Brotherhood, I thought was wicked. Revelations is probably my favourite Assassin's Creed.
I really like Revelations.
Just because obviously, like I said, being an Altair fanboy, it was great being able to get back to that.
Yeah. And actually cast someone with an accent that sounds like where he'd come from.
Yeah, exactly. Then there was 3.
Which is shit.
Which was genuinely wank.
It was so fucking... The first game where they actually make Desmond, the blandest man in the universe, more interesting than the actual guy who goes around killing people for a living. I am Connor. Oh, American history is so fascinating. What are you doing? I'm signing some papers. How interesting. What are you doing? I'm also signing some papers. And now we've got a country. Fuck off.
Then after 3 there was Black Flag, and that was like a return to form. After 3 it was wicked. The thing is though, it's not an Assassin's Creed game.
There are some Assassin's Creed bits like the boring follow missions.
Yes, but it's just not an Assassin's Creed. It's a Pirates Creed game.
Yeah, it is.
You can't say, I'm being an assassin. Well, no you're not. You're on that giant warship, sailing in front of this fortress, firing 23 cannons. Now, I don't think I have a great grasp on what stealth is, but that's not it.
It just went after every shot.
Just everybody, and like, even when you're not in a firing, like being a firing squad and some poor fuckers in a castle, right? You're going through, right? There's one bit, right? This is the epitome of stealth in that game, and I love taking the piss out of it. Is where it goes, right? Really stealthily, we're gonna sail this giant warship through a swampy forest, right? Following this tiny little diggy. And, right, the best bit for me was my game sort of glitched at that time.
Right.
So the shanty songs were still going along. So, at the middle of night, right, this ship was bigger than small villages in the countryside, right? And I've got this slowly sailing and creaking through all these forests and stuff, following this little guy who, come on guys, you're gonna see the ship following you, right? And then on top of that,
what do you do with drunken
I've got 36 drunken men going, all going through this forest, right? And in the meantime, every now and then you're going to have some elaborate prancy twat jump off, do some somersaults through the trees and get back onto a ship, just stay on the ship.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't really go past the watchtower. It's like, no, we can only see in this cone, Glenn, but I can clearly see it. It's like 100 foot long. No, this cone. Fuck off.
Did you hear a guy walking up behind us? No. Equally, did not see that 100-foot ship just sail past.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that guy who we definitely saw jump across all those beams. Yeah, we definitely did not see him, right? He'll leave us alone. Oh no, a knife. It's like, all the fucking swords you've got equipped is going to be clanking along. And let's like,
clang,
clank.
clang, 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 clang.
And like blunderbusses weren't exactly quick weapons. Like, I'm gonna fucking get you. A bit of powder, put the shot in, put that down. Fuck you! Oh, I missed because it's a blunderbuss. Try again. Oh, they actually did get that right. The reloading animations.
Yeah,
they did that. In fairness, but
I thought it was a fantastic game. I loved it. It just wasn't an Assassin's Creed game.
This is all coming from a place of love. This game, but this next one is not.
Yeah, because then after that it's Unity, isn't it? They took...
No, after that it was Assassin's Creed Rogue, actually. And, well, Unity and Rogue at the same time.
I didn't play Rogue, I don't think.
It's not very good.
Won't play it.
They basically used the whole sailing mechanics from 4 again.
Yeah.
It's got a slightly interesting twist. You play as a guy who was an assassin, but felt like his ideology wasn't gelling with the assassins. You actually saw the darker side to the assassins. Mm-hmm. So he joins the Templars and starts knocking off assassins with his assassin training. It's quite interesting, but it's just, you can clearly tell their efforts will focus on Unity for this one. It's just quite a bit recycled.
Well, I don't think their efforts were based on Unity because that game was shit.
It was not very
awful.
Yeah.
I remember playing that game, right? And in my first half an hour of playing, I was in a cool little bit travelling around Paris and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, I'm transported to a very windy tunnel as I'm trying to walk towards the Eiffel Tower in construction.
Oh, yeah. See, no, they were weird bits.
Why?
That wasn't really a glitch. That was more of a...
Why did I travel through time?
It was an Animus glitch. I think that's how they
yeah, but
justified it.
Why is the wind so strong that if I'm not stood behind a box, it kills me?
I don't know. Because I don't know.
In one time in sort of northwestern Europe, we've ever had a hurricane or a tornado or anything that sort of strength.
We had Storm Doris this year.
The wind wouldn't kill you.
No, I suppose not. No, it was a weird thing. I think there were other bits as well. Like you're in some ancient France and you had to climb up a mountain and it had all these boulders rolling down at you.
It's just such a shit game.
There were quite a few. Like the protagonist was wank.
Yeah.
It's like Ezio light. I mean, I quite liked Ezio, but
I didn't mind Ezio. It wasn't out of here. I wanted it out of here.
protagonist was wank. The story was uninteresting. There were some
combat was ass.
Yeah, there were some really frustrating missions. Like the thing was like you have to stealth certain bits.
Yeah.
I would lisp. certain bits, and some of them are just like so bullshittedly broken that they're just impossible unless you knew the. I mean, I guess with a stealth game, you meant to know the timing, but sometimes like you physically can't get through this bit stealthing, and there's no other options. Like in real life, you could open a window and go around and do it. Or, you know, do what the Hitman games do. Get a disguise.
Yeah.
That's a really good mechanic.
Yeah. I just didn't like anything about the game because also they changed up the combat system.
Yeah.
Now it meant that if you took on more than 2 people, you would probably die.
Yeah. I quite liked some of the changes to parkour. You can run down.
Yeah.
That was a decent addition.
Yeah. But no, I just thought it was absolutely ass, and that sort of killed my faith in the Assassin's Creed a bit. And then you got Syndicate and lent it to me.
Yeah.
And that game was just. I pretty much just held at the white flag and went, I'm done.
Yeah, I think I like Syndicate quite a bit. I think there's some really good bits in it. I can see where you're coming from. It felt like a game that was tired. Like you got to the point where it's like they know what they're doing and they're sort of feeling. You can sort of tell they've run their course. So if you like London, Victorian London should be rammed, and it's not. It's really sparse.
Yeah.
Compared to Unity, like you can tell there's quite a few technological things they sort of reeled back. Jacob is one of the stupidest fucking protagonists I've ever come across. Like, there's a bit where Evie and I forgot the guy's name, the assassin in London, sort of figuring out, we need to get the Eden item and whatever. We can do this and we can work together. And then Jacob goes, we can get my rooks as well, my gang. It's like, piss off, you idiot, are you a child? He was just the dimmest piece of shit ever. Evie was quite cool in comparison. Well, she was cool full stop.
Yeah.
What else issue? The line hook thing basically broke everything.
I just not like the game.
Yeah, and I quite liked it.
I was then so happy that they've decided to go on a little hiatus because I think it was after Unity and Syndicate, Ubisoft went,
after Syndicate got really low sales for them, they went. I don't know if that's what actually made them decide, but it seems like a strong coincidence. But yeah, Origins it's got a really boring name, but.
I've seen a little bit about it. I'm not trying to look into it too much because I don't really want to ruin it for myself, and I want to try as much as I possibly can. After Unity and Syndicate, I still want to go to Origins with a blank slate. Yeah. So I'm not looking into it. I'm not looking at the gameplay footage or anything like that. I'm just interested to see what comes of it, really.
Yeah, it looks.
But I don't have high hopes.
How do I put it? I'm like you. I really like the series, despite all the missteps. Yeah. And so I am going into it with quite excited. Yeah. I'm really hoping it'll be decent. But I mean, a few videos that come out, it's like, well, that voice acting was a bit rough, or that's quite an age-old problem. Why haven't they fixed that? Yeah. Just small things. We think if you're sort of doing sort of a soft relaunch of the series, that you'd want to get fixed. Yeah. Like just a few technical things. I think these things like probably games we might never be able to do, or with current hardware you couldn't do. Like fabric glitches through legs or whatever. But you think you kind of want to show your best foot with your demos. And it's a bit. It's still. I'm still looking forward to it, but
I'll get it. Yeah. I'll look forward to it, and in November, I'm just being very nonchalant about it. I'm expecting. Hopefully, if I go in there thinking I'm about to buy a bad game, I won't be disappointed.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cautiously optimistic. Yeah. Let's say.
But yeah, I don't know anymore. So I think games are always better when they make you wait for them. But then there is a time where you have waited for too long. It's like I waited for 12 years for versus 13.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a long time.
So,
was it really that long?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Because they all got announced at the same time, and they got announced just before 12 came out.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Mm.
That's a problem Square have of announcing things. Just announcing things and not really having much to show for it.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 years in advance while you're still working on PlayStation 2 hardware. It's a bit much.
And it came out on PS4.
Well, yeah, obviously Final Fantasy 13 came out on PlayStation 3. So there's a good 10-year gap there.
What, between PS2 and PS3?
No, between PS2 and PS4.
Yeah. So, well, people are now saying that the Final Fantasy VII remake will, at this rate, might actually be a launching title for PS5.
I won't be surprised.
Because when you think about it, we've already had the PS4 for
3-4 years.
3-4 years, and each console era is usually 5 years.
Well, I can foresee that.
So
I think
E3 next year, we might get console.
I doubt it.
Launch reveals.
I doubt it because Microsoft are doing their Scorpio thing, or Xbox One X, which is such a great, not confusing title. But I was going to go with that. I don't see Sony following the same route because I think they're seeing what a few people are seeing, which is they don't want to divide the consumer base too much. And I think the PS4 is still riding strong, but I think they'll probably do what they did with the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 generation, which will probably stim me out for like 2-3 more years than what's traditional. Because that was a long cycle.
Yeah.
That came out in like 2005.
Yeah.
Didn't it? The Xbox, was it 2006?
Well, the Xbox 360 came out a year and a half before. Came out when I was in. It must have been year 8 or year 9.
No, it wasn't that long ago, was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was mid 2000s at any rate. And the PlayStation 4, dropped 2013? Something like that, 2013?
What, PS4?
Yeah.
It was when I was in my 3rd year of uni.
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah, because I think I was in my last year.
So it would have been 2014. No, because it came out in December-ish time, didn't it? So it would have been 2013. The very end of 2013.
Okay, so it's been out for about almost 4 years now. So that's a long gap between the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 4. And I can foresee them doing it this time because, and I imagine they'll probably be pushing the hardware to its absolute limits again until we get to the point where the developers thinking, right, we genuinely cannot get any more out of this. You're going to have to release something. And I think what they're going to do is they'll either, I don't know, they'll probably get a new disc format or something so they can hold 500 gig rather than the 60 the Blu-rays can do. That'll probably be the new thing. But I don't know. Right now it's probably not the time. People are still hurting from financial recessions.
True.
And it's a big. I mean, some people are still buying PlayStation 4 for the first time, and they've got no real incentive to spend millions of dollars on R&D right now. And
no, I can see that.
Maybe.
I can see that.
I don't know what the fuck Microsoft are doing, to be honest, with their games division.
It's hard to tell. Well, I will never buy a games console from them again.
Yeah.
I will stick with PlayStation from now on. So, but also do a lot of PC gaming and things. But something like a good Final Fantasy game, you just can't beat playing it on a console. Being able to sit back with a controller on a settee.
That's what I prefer about console, because I can get my comfortable chair.
Yeah.
And just sort of sit back. It's quite nice. And my PC can't run dick, so so there is that as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think actually that might be a good place to leave it.
On the word dick.
On you saying the word dick.
Okay. So we started with how handsome Hugh Jackman is, and I end with the word dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh dear. Don't get Freud involved.
Yeah. But anyway,
On
thank
that
you very
note.
much, Wilcox.
Thank you.
And
TTFN.
TTFN?
Ta-ta for now. It's from Winnie the Pooh.
Awesome.